Hello and welcome to Genesis Training. This is your trainer Kaustav. The topic for this video is simple interest and compound interest, and the subtopic is special problems based on simple interest and compound interest. Let's have a look into it. Question number 1. Suresh invested 1/3 of his capital at 7%, 1/4 at 8% and the remainder at 10% simple interest respectively. If his annual income becomes 510 rupees, then the capital is how much? Okay. So first of all, what do we need to find? We need to find the remainder. How much is the remainder? So the total principal, first of all, let's find the remainder. Total principal is P, and then 1/3 of P is gone, and then 1/4 of P is also gone. Let's find how much is the remainder. LCM of 3 and 4 is 12. 12 multiplied by P is 12P minus 12 into 1 by 3 is 4P minus 12 into 1 by 4 is 3P. This is equal to 5P by 12. This is the remainder amount of the principal. So, let's find the total interest according to the formula, because the final interest is 510. And in how many years? 1 year, because they have told annual. So, let's use PTR by 100, PTR by 100, PTR by 100. First case, P is 1/3 of his capital. So that is P by 3. Time is 1 year. Rate is 7%. 7 by 100. Plus, in case 2, we have 1/4. So we have P by 4 into time is again 1 year. And then the rate is 8%. 8 by 100. Plus, the remainder we just found is 5P by 12 plus, multiplication. Again, the time is 1 year and the rate is 10%. 10 by 100. This is equal to the final interest, that is 510. Now, all we have to do is solve for P. We have one equation and one unknown. We can easily solve it. The first thing we do is we do not touch the hundreds because we can take that common. But other things, let's simplify a little. Let's cancel a few things up. 4 into 2 is 8. 2 5s are 10. 2 6 are 12. Okay. Let's continue now. Hundreds can be taken common and then we'll shift that to the RHS over here. Other things, we have 3, 1 and 6 as the remainders. The LCM of 3, 1 and 6 is 6. 6 by 3 is 2. So we have 2P into 7. 2 into 7 is 14. 14P plus 6 by 1 is 6. 6 into 2 is 12. So we have 12P plus 6 by 6 is 1. 1 into 5 is 25. 25P. This is equal to 510 into 100. Okay, 14 plus 12 is 26. 26 plus 25 is 51. 51P by 6 equals 510 into 100. This one gone. We have 10. P equals 6,000. That is the answer. Answer is A. Moral of the story, we first find the remainder and then do individual PTR by 100, PTR by 100, PTR by 100, and the final total interest is this. That is what we equate it with, and then we find the only unknown that is given in the question. That's it. Let's move on. What will 2000 rupees amount to in 2 years if it is invested in 20% per annum compound interest, in interest being compounded semi-annually? This is something that a lot of people have a doubt with. What do you mean by semi-annually? Generally speaking, it is compounded annually. After every 1 year, it increases. But semi-annually means it increases every 6 months. But how much? That is the question, because the question clearly says it is 20% per annum, but it has to increase every 6 months. So how much? It will increase 20% for a year, but it will increase 10% every 6 months. Half the time, half the rate. That's it. So after 2 years, how much will it become? Let's do this. We have 2000. This first increases by 10%. This is the first 6 months. 10% of 2000 is 200. This plus this is 2200. Then again this increases by 10%. This is another 6 months. This completed the first year. This is 220. This plus this is 2420. Now this again increases by 10%. We have 242. This plus this is 2662. This is another 6 months. So 1.5 years done. And then this increases by 10%. That is 266.2. This plus this. We don't even need to find that because this is for 2 years and they have asked us to find the final amount, right? Final amount. Let's use the units place. We are 100% sure that this plus this will end with 0.2. And if you look at the options, you have only one option which ends with 0.2. That's it. That has to be the correct answer. You don't have to actually calculate. You can use the elimination method to get to the answer. Okay, let's move on. Question number 3. Find the compound interest reckoned yearly on 2400 at 10% per annum for 2 years and 4 months. This is another thing that a lot of people have trouble with whenever partial time is given, especially in compound interest. Let's deal with this. We start with 2400. This first increases by 10%, that is 240. This is for the first year. That is normal. This plus this is 2640. Then this increases by 10%. This plus this is 264. This plus this is 2904. This is for the second year. So for the first 2 years it's pretty normal. After that we have 4 months. What to do with that? So this increases by 10%, but this 10% is for the entire third year. Are we dealing with the entire third year? No, we are only dealing with 4 months. So it won't increase by 10%. It will increase by 10% into 4 by 12 because 10% was for 12 months. For 4 months it will be 10% into 4 by 12. That is equal to 10% of this is 290.4 into 1 by 3. Now they have asked us to find the compound interest. That means the final answer is this plus this plus this. Now let's use the elimination method to get the answer. First of all, we are 100% sure that it cannot be a natural number because we have decimal here itself. So D is gone. Second of all, we know that 3000 is way too big of a number because 240 plus 264 plus this is not even equal to 1000, let alone 3000. So this also gone. Now 400.8, 240 plus 264 itself is more than 500. So obviously 400 will not be the answer. The only thing left out is C, that is 600.8. That's all. That is the answer. Moral of the story is, you don't have to always calculate in order to find the answer. Whenever you know that this is the units place or this is the decimal number, the first thing you should do is look at the options. Who knows, you may save your time in calculation. Let's move on. Question number 4. A sum of money was put in SI at a certain rate for 2 years. Had it been 1% higher rate, it would have fetched 24 rupees more. Find the sum. This question is so simple, you can actually do it mentally. So if at all it has been 1% higher, but that is for 2 years. And this is simple interest. That means total increment is 1% for 2 years. It's 1% for 2 years. That is equal to 2%. And 2% is equal to 24 rupees. So 100% will be how much? That is the question. If 2% is 24 rupees, then 1% is 12 rupees. So 100% is 1200 rupees. Answer is B. That's it. It's just that simple. A lot of people make mistakes. They forget about the 2 years. They get 1% is 24. So 100% is 2400. That is why A is given in the options. So just because, make sure you understand this, just because your answer is there in the options does not guarantee that it's the correct answers. A lot of times that may be the most commonly marked wrong answer as well. Be careful. Question number 5. Find the compound interest on 5,000 rupees at 10% for a period of a year compounded half yearly or semi-annually. The same thing. Let's start again the same way. We have 5,000. This increases by 5% first because half yearly 10% is for per year. This is half yearly. 5% of 5,000 is what? Half of 10%. 10% of 5,000 is 500. Half of that is 250. This plus this is 5250. Then this increases by 5%. What is that? 10%. Half. 10% of this is 525. Half of that is 275.5. Oh, I'm so sorry. It will be 262.5. So this plus this, we have to find the compound interest. That is nothing but this plus this. What is that equal to? 250 plus 250 will be equal to 500 plus 12.5. So 512.5. That is the compound interest. Let's move on. Mr. Thomas invested an amount of 13,900 divided in two different schemes, A and B, at the simple interest rate of this and this respectively. Total amount of simple interest earned in 2 years is this much. What was the amount invested in scheme B? Okay. So the total amount of money we have is 13900. This has been divided in two schemes. We have scheme A, we have scheme B. Let scheme B be B and let scheme A be 13900 minus B. Why did I take scheme B as B? Why not A as X and this one as this? Because they have ultimately asked us to find scheme B. So I'm 100% sure whatever is the value of this variable, that itself is the final answer. That saves me from thinking too much towards the end. So this one, the rate is 14%. So we have 14%. This one, the rate is 11%. And the time is 2 years. And it is simple interest, so PTR by 100, PTR by 100. We have 13900 minus B. Time is 2 years, 14 by 100 plus B into 2 into 11 by 100. This is equal to the final interest, that is 3508. Obviously, the calculation will become a little heavy over here. So let's get started. We have 13900 into 28 minus 28b. 2 into 14 is 28, that's why. Plus 22b, this one, equals 350800. We took the 100 common and then posted it to the right hand side like this. 28b minus 22b is nothing but 6b equals 13900 into 28 minus 350800. So b is ultimately 13900 into 28 minus 350800 divided by 6. Now you can calculate it. After you calculate, you will get that the final answer is 6400. That's it. Now here is the thing. Most of the people, what they'll do is they'll take scheme A as X and scheme B as 13900 minus X. that time you will get the value of x as 7500, which is also there in the options. But that is not the correct answer. You have to do 13900 minus 7500 to get the answer. That will be 6400. So moral of the story is, whatever is unknown, whatever you have to find ultimately in the question, take that as the unknown variable, the x factor or whatever you want to take. That way you will avoid this confusion later. You are 100% sure that the factor, the variable that you have chosen, that itself is the final answer, and you don't have to do any extra calculation in the end. So the answer is not D, the answer is A. That's it for this video. Thank you so much.